Welcome, welcome to another Retired Trucker podcast. Appreciate everybody stopping in for this edition. We're going to get into the time I was a trainer. Yeah, I was a trainer. I trained truck drivers. When I was with Epps Transport Systems out of Greensboro, North Carolina, when I used to live in North Carolina. So some of these trainees I had, oh man, it was crazy. Well, we'll go through the process here. I was a company driver over there for 12 years. So 1 year, I don't know how long I'd been there, maybe 6, 7, 8 years or something. They offered this train the trainer class. They said, if you want to think about becoming a trainer, let us know. We'll see if your requirements are met. So they said, yeah, you're good to go there, Mr. Lawson. We got a class coming up in a couple of weeks. You want to come over here to Greensboro, stay the whole week, put you up in a hotel room, feed you one meal a day on us, and we're going to have a train the trainer class. I said, well, wait a minute. I got one question. Now, if I become a trainer, is this actually training a trainee, or is it going to be a trainee and a trainer team truck driving situation? They said, no, no team training situation. Uh, Either you'll be in the driver's seat or you'll be in the passenger seat. And we request you be in the passenger seat more than the driver's seat when you got the trainee on the truck. I said, that's cool. Let's do it. So once the other training thing, they went over some rules and all the regulations and all that good stuff. We even did some driving, had to take a driving test and make sure we could still drive, knew how to drive, knew other rules of the road. Even did some backing, see how we could do our backing. And then it went from us doing the backing to teaching somebody how to back and all the do's and the don'ts. And you should do this, do that, tips on everything. So I was all right. So had a good week, man. Didn't have to go on the road to stay there the whole week. Had a hotel room and it was nice. They didn't put two or three people in the same room. You got your own separate room, and it was nice. Had a restaurant right next to the hotel that would feed us every night. Good home cooking style restaurant. It was good, good food, man. So we'd all go over there at night, eat and BS, and that was it. Get up in the morning and go back to the class, up to the terminal, and good stuff. So I don't know. Got back on the road after that. Went back on the road solo. I don't know. It was a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks later. I got a phone call from my dispatcher, Marvin. Marvin is no longer with us. Rest in peace, there, Marvin. You were a good man, and you were missed. Got a call from Marvin. Said we got a trainee for you. I said, all right. Where's he going to meet me at? Greensboro Terminal or the Elm City Yard? Uh, you don't go by his house and pick him up. What? So I guess they made arrangements with this trainee to go by his house. He lived there in Raleigh, North Carolina. So I got his address and everything. It was an apartment complex. Well, luckily they had a big a road or a street that looped around on like the outside of the parking lots of the apartments that you could get a truck in. I thought it was kind of strange. I thought trainees were supposed to meet us at the terminals, so I had to go in there, pick him up. He was a young guy. He was in his early 20s, I guess, just out of truck driving school. So he was fresh and good kid, but his communication was kind of lacking because he was not born and raised in America. He had came from another country, which I'm not going to say where he was from or his nationality or anything, but the communication gap was definitely a struggle trying to communicate properly with him. He was that wasn't so bad, but he was a nice guy. So one day he started. I let him drive. He did all right. Had issues shifting gears. That's for automatic trucks are a big thing. So had to learn in a manual. So he was pretty good. He could drive and back mostly for that, but man, he had an issue with. I guess he had an authority issue or something. And he didn't like all that well me telling him what to do. So I think that was one of the red flags. And I'm trying to tell him how to get around. Now this is for GPSs too. So well, they were out there. They just weren't as widespread as they were, and I didn't have one in my truck. I wouldn't train with the GPS. You gotta learn your way around before then you can get a GPS if you want to on your own truck. But I didn't have a GPS and did not have a TV in the truck. And he asked me, he said, "Why don't you have a TV in your truck?" I said, "This is a training truck. This is not an entertain the trainee truck. This is a training truck, and that's what we do. When we're not sleeping on a break, we're going to be training, either going over paperwork, proper way to fill out paperwork, your logbook, or if you got some time and you got a empty parking lot at a truck stop, you're going to go all the way in the back corner and you're going to be doing your backing." So we did that every chance we could back. He was pretty good at backing. One day we were at the yard up there in Chester, Virginia. We got a big old nice yard up there. Had a big parking lot. We had like some docks, open docks out around back. So it's good time to train him in the backing up there. So I was down on the ground. Every time a trainee would back, I would be on the ground, making sure he didn't hit anything. But he was doing all right. He had a couple of issues here and there. Then I walked up to the truck to try to tell him something, and he had the window rolled up, and he rolled the window down. Man, he had the stereo on the truck blasting. I said, "First of all, turn that freaking thing off, roll your windows down." And he was like, huh? That's what he would do when I was telling him something. Always had to repeat. It was like he couldn't hear the first time I told him something, but tell him something, he'd go, huh? Huh? So I had to tell him again. So his backing was pretty good. He was getting the feel of driving, the shifting, got that all figured out. But there was one major issue. He could not understand road signs. I would always have to tell him what exit to take while we were after telling him, plan your trip, know where you're going, what exit you got to take. You got it? Yeah. So I already knew where we were going, how to get there. And he'd be coming up on the exit. He had to go either to get to the customer or to take another interstate going the other direction or whatever. And he just blow right by it. I said, uh, "Where you going?" "I'm going where we're going. And well, I think you're supposed to take that exit back there. Huh? So yeah, now you got to take the next exit, do a loop de loop, come back in the direction and take the exit. Oh, so yeah, I told you that before we left what exit you had to take when you had it on your trip plan also. So he just could not find his way around, couldn't understand road signs. We tell him something like we were pulling out of a dock one time and he had talked to trailer tires, the wheels or whatever, and then he forgot to take them out when he was pulling out. So I was on the ground, he was pulling out, and he rode right over the chalk. I said, "Hey man, You ran over the tire chop. What? Said you ran over the tire chop. I don't know what that means. What do you mean I ran over? What? That just don't make sense. What do you mean? Okay, you forgot the wheel chop and you drove the trailer tire over top of the wheel chop. Huh? I said, oh my God. So anyway, however long he's supposed to be on the truck, the maximum or the minimum amount, we were already past that. I think it was in a couple weeks extra or something. So today I had to make a decision whether to pass him or fail him because I was going to get him off the truck. We were heading back to Greensboro. We were up in Richmond, Virginia area, or Disputant, Virginia, up there at the Food Line Distribution Center. There's a little old pilot or something right there off that exit off of 295. And all right, let's go. We're going back to Greensboro. And he knew he was probably going to pass him. I still wasn't sure at that time. So we come off that road there. I think it was 460 or something. And you had to go north on 295 a little bit or south or whatever and get around to 85 to get back down to Greensboro. So, all right, let's go. So he just driving down 460, goes past 295, just keeps going straight. I said, what are you doing? He goes, huh? We need to get back to Greensboro. You're supposed to take your exit back there. He goes, you know something? I'm tired of you telling me what to do. I said, okay. That was it. I didn't say, I think that was the most quiet ride all the way back to Greensboro after we got back on track. Got over to the Greensboro yard, got to the training guy that was in charge of all that. And I said, I just can't do it. I can't do it. He can't find his way around. He can't understand. He doesn't understand road signs. I tried to work with him, and he just don't do it. I can't pass him. I can't sign off on him because that had been my responsibility if something would have happened. I didn't sign off on him. So he said, all right. So I went ahead and did my business, went on, and I asked him, I think that next week, I said, what happened to the trainee I brought in last week? He goes, well, he's on another truck. We're going to try to give him one more chance, put him on another truck with another trainee or trainer, and we're going to see how he does. So apparently, he didn't do too well with that trainer either. So I think they ended up letting him go. But man, that was aggravating. For being my first trainee I had on the truck, it was probably the most difficult one because of the language barrier, him not understanding the concept of interstates or road signs or exit numbers or any of that stuff. After I drilled it in his brain constantly, he never did pick it up. So, man, that's crazy. Crazy stuff. All my other trainees I had behind that were gold, gold compared to him. So that was some crazy stuff. But that's it. That's the story of my first ever trainee as a trainer at Epps Transport Systems Inc., I think, or LLC, one or the other. I think Penske owns them now, so they run under Penske, but they're still Epps. So that's it for this one. Appreciate everybody watching. Check out the playlist of the Retired Trucker podcast, just in case you may have missed a podcast or two somewhere down the road. And that's it. So appreciate everybody listening. Everybody have a good day. Stay safe.